made it, she made a like private like group chat for us. So she's like on there like every day, like, did you just work out? I want to see some videos of you guys in the gym. And if like you don't send in like a picture of you in the gym or that day that you worked out, like she will call you out. Like she's on it. Like,
oh, okay, that's good. That makes a difference.
Like she's very, very much very like invested in it. And it's like a 4-week program. So
you've been working out, Veronica?
Yes. This is the most consistent I've been in a long time. I think the last time I worked out like this, it was when it was with your trainer. What was her name?
Michelle.
Yeah.
Nope, not me. No working out over here.
He's a tyrant or something?
Who?
Your new trainer, like a tyrant in a good way?
He's good, yeah. So it's like an online program, but have like our own private group chat. So everyone who bought it, we're in a group chat, and like she makes us check in like every day. Like, I need to see proof that you worked out. Like, so she's on it. And if you don't send proof, like she will call you out. Like, why didn't you work out today? Like, you have no reason to not work out. And so she's on it. So far it's been pretty good, and she's a really good trainer. Like, she knows what she's doing. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Well, what are the online workouts?
So every day is different. So like today we mostly did like cardio and like arms and back. That's what we're really focused on. And like tomorrow is gonna be like lower body and abs. So like every day is like a different workout.
And you have to work out in the gym? Can you work out at home?
Oh, you can do it at home. I just do it at the gym because you can add weights to it if you want to. And I feel like a lot better if I add some weight to the workout. So I just go to the gym, and it's downstairs. Like, my apartment isn't that big, so I don't want to make all that space, have to move it around to work out. So I have the gym downstairs, so might as well just go to the freaking gym. But no, if you just wanted to do it at home, you could just do it at home. All you need is just one of the bands, like a resistance band, and you would just be fine with that. But I add weight to my stuff.
Are you trying to do something specific? Like, are you trying to tone up, lose weight?
I'm trying to. I don't really like. I like my weight right now. I feel like if I lost like 10 pounds, I'd be cool. But I don't really care if I do or I don't. It's mostly just really toning up more than anything.
Yeah. Did you say you have weights in your gym?
Yeah, we have everything. We have cardio machines, weights, bikes, like everything. And we have like an outdoor workout spot too. So
that sounds nice.
Lex, did you say no working out for you?
Well, I just haven't. Like, I feel like when the pandemic first started, when I quit my job especially, like, I was like, okay, work out. And then I started to like actually do other shit for my business and my brand and all that shit. And I just stopped and realized that I had to wake up extremely early. Like, the only way that I'm going to have time to work out is if I wake up at probably 5 in the morning and work out to squeeze it in to do everything else for the day. And I don't like to wake up early, so.
Yeah, no, that sounds horrific.
So I don't. But I'm trying to figure it out. I'm really trying to figure out how to get at least like walking, like something where I can walk for a little bit. I be doing like the little delivery service things for like, some cash, and I feel like I'd be on the go with that shit. So I'd be like, no, I'll chop it up. I'll park a little further and walk a little more and shit like that.
Yeah.
I'm shaking my ass at home, at home I wake up and dance a little bit. I'm like, hey, there you go, boom, cardio, period.
That's true. I feel like I had not worked out the entire first year of the pandemic, which is so crazy to say now that we have had 1 year of a pandemic now, literally.
Officially, like this week.
Yeah. And so, yeah, pretty much the whole first year I did not work out. We did with V, we briefly did with my trainer, but then I just like, is depressed. Who the fuck feels like doing that shit? I don't know, mad other fucking things. And then I think a couple months ago, I was like, this is the least that I have ever been active. And beyond just like it being like I want to lose weight or I want to do this to my body kind of a thing, it's just like not being active for me doesn't feel good. Like I typically would have, like before the pandemic, I typically went to the gym like 4 times a week. But the thing is, I don't really like the gym, but if you go to a gym and you have a trainer, then it's like, it's easier because you have somebody directing you. But I don't have that option now. So what I have been doing just this, like starting this month, is just figuring out ways that I can like get sweaty and be active without it being like lose weight focus, and also without it being like I need to like the gym type of shit that I hate. So so I've been like going hiking and going for a walk with people and doing dance workout videos, which are really fun and get you really fucking sweaty. And shit like that like I'm about to get another bike so I can ride my bike again. So like shit that will allow me to be active, that I actually like doing, and it doesn't feel like I'm doing fucking CrossFit or some shit, because that fucking sucks to me. Yeah. But it is important to me to be active and like get sweaty and stuff. So that's just how I've been navigating it.
Yeah, that's a good thought. I've been trying to think like that too, and that's why I'm trying to like figure out how I can squeeze it into my day. Because I was so active before, and then to now not be doing that, it's like annoying. And also when I was like running and walking, being in the nature and all that, like I'm missing out on that part of it too. So I want to do more of that for sure.
I don't really that nature shit. Like I prefer the CrossFit. Like I want to be in. I like the gym. Like I like that. I don't like hiking. I don't know. I never liked it. Like I think I'm just not an outdoorsy type of person, like at all, like in any way, shape, or form. So I just don't like doing outside shit. So I like this type of workout, even though it's like I feel like it's very repetitive because like you're doing like the same shit like for an hour. But when I'm done, like I feel very like, okay, I just did something. Like, I don't know. I like the gym. I like the feeling of the gym. I don't know.
What is it about the outdoors that you don't like? Is it like a bugs kind of a thing, or what?
It's bugs, and then again, I just watch too much fucking like true crime shit, and I'm like, bitch, I'm kidnapped or something. I don't have the time. Like, I just don't like it. So, and I don't really have I live in the city, so there's not really like any like real outdoorsy spots out here. Like, it's a city. Like, there's nothing. I think like the closest is probably like the lakefront. I was thinking about, because I do cardio every day, like at least a mile. So I'm like, maybe like when it gets warmer, I can go like outside and like run the lakefront. That'd probably be nice. But it's not like, it's still like in the city, like it's the lake in the city. So it wouldn't be like I'm going on a nature hike or anything like that. So
yeah, that's true. I guess it is. And like location is important for like access, but also did you grow up doing shit outside? Because I feel like for me, like I was a Girl Scout, and like I was camping and roughing it and shit, and like my uncle, he lived literally he lived in like a literal forest, like a scary ass forest. So like we was getting wood for the fire, and like I don't know, like my whole, I feel like childhood was like doing outdoor shit. And so now and I was like, we went to the beach every summer, and then like my disgusting white ass was like getting into lakes. Like I'll get into any body of water. I don't give a if it's a
so like family is very outdoorsy. Like camp was like a family. Like we went camping every summer. I hated it. I didn't freaking like it. Like my dad is where he lives now, like he moved like so far from the suburbs, it's like nothing but like trails and shit out there, like a big ass forest and farms and shit. Like he loves that shit, and like all my siblings, they all like that shit. I'm the only one who just does it. Like I don't know.
I'm such a in between. Like, I would love to go on a hike as long as the hike is leading me up into like a log cabin where there's electricity and a nice bathroom. And if it's leading to that, then yes, like, let's hike up to this luxurious ass cabin where my luggage is already sitting and you know, stuff like that.
So,
but
glamping.
I would like to do that. Like, if it's like where it's like outside but not really outside, but we can pretend it is, I'll do something like that. But if it like having to like shit outside, no, I'm not doing that.
Okay,
shit.
well, we're not. Yeah, I'm not like, I have never like roughed it so rough that I like was making holes in the ground to take a shit. But yeah, like latrines, that's like an outdoor like version of a bathroom, definitely. Isn't that what that's called?
Well, like an outhouse?
Yeah, like it's outside. I definitely used those when I was in like Girl Scouts and shit. But yeah, I hear you.
I have property, right? Like, my family owns a lot of land in some part of Florida, and it's like not cleaned off or anything. It's like, it's the woods. It's the woods, and we have just like one set of cousins that live out there in the woods, and my dad says like he doesn't even go in their house. Like, he has never even been inside of their house because he's so scared of what could possibly even be in their house, because they don't have anything like that's really close by that they can go. They still use an outhouse sometimes. Like, they have one out there. Like, my dad said like their teeth are coming out of their mouth and shit, but like they're good. Like,
I'm sorry, what? Their teeth come out of their mouth.
Like, their teeth are like rotting because they live in like they rough it. They
that's like for real. Like what is that called? Like backwoods, like
that's just where they live, and they just have never like chose to live anywhere else. Like, they just live there, and that's how they're used to it. They'll kill they have animals, they have a bag, my dad said, like a golf caddy of shotguns. You just grab a shotgun and they just, that's their life.
Yeah. See, that's where I draw the line. That's where I draw.
It's too though. My family, like, they will kill a squirrel and like eat it. Pigeons, they hunt rabbits, like all that shit. Like, my family is super country. It's so funny because I am not like that at all, but my family is super fucking country. Like, I will say, if it was ever like some end of the world shit and like you have to like if I go with my dad, I would live. My dad knows how to fires. He could probably build a house with like sticks and shit. I don't even know. Like, he is a very outdoorsy, adaptable person. Like, if all this shit went like to hell, my dad would survive. I swear.
Well, that's good. That's like a good. I would definitely die.
Like, the daughter don't even know how to change like a fucking light bulb. So it's like, oh, like, why don't I know anything? Like,
yeah, I definitely draw the line at like killing shit. Like, I feel like honestly, my ideal place to live, and like when I have the money to like really buy a crib for real, like a real, I absolutely want like farmland type shit. Like, I want to be in like fucking Oregon with fucking hella trees and there's a lake and I got hella animals. However, this is not going to be the backwoods country version where it's like there's no, you know, I can't go to CVS or something if I need it. Like, I'm going to still be, you know, taking care of my body. I'm going to still have some proximity to humans. I'm going to still be going to the doctor.
Amazon can deliver here, okay?
Correct.
Can still make the delivery.
Yes. And I will definitely not be killing no animals. I could never. I would literally probably kill myself before I had to kill. Even if I was like starving to death, I don't think I could do it. Like, I don't think. Now, if someone else did it, and then it was like, here, we're going to cook it up, and it was like, you know, I was dying type shit, then I would do it. But I really don't think
you could kill an animal.
If I don't think so.
I've seen it happen so much because my family is Mexican. Like, Mexico, like when it's like a baptism or like a wedding or something like that, they will kill like a cow and just like drain the blood out. I remember when I went to Mexico, it was my cousin's, like her quinceañera, so it was like her sweet 16 type thing. And they killed a goat. But so I was walking to my uncle's, like I was walking past his home, and they killed it. And they just had it hanging, like, with the blood draining out, like, the neck. And I was like, I can't eat that now. Now I saw that. When I was young, too, but this was here, like, my grandpa, he would make traps for pigeons. And the pigeons would, like, go in the traps. And I remember one time I went over it because I'd go over his house after school. He had a pigeon trap, and I was begging him, like, please do not kill it. Please do not. He was like, we're going to eat it today. I'm like, no, please just let the bird go. And he killed it in front of me. And I was like, I was so mad. I was crying. I told my mom, I'm like, I never want to come over here again. Like, I was so angry at my God. Then that's like normal. Like, they used to have to, like, find their own bird, kill their own chickens. Like, to them, it's normal for them to just go ahead and. To me, I could never do that. I would literally starve. I could never do that.
I was correct, especially with like bigger animals. And I don't know, it's one thing to like break a chicken's neck, like, you know, you just basically swing the chicken around, and not that I could do that, but like that's like very little labor. But like killing a cow, a big ass cow,
hanging that bitch up, like who's doing
I couldn't.
The blood out, and then they would have to skin it.
Yeah, I remember it.
It was in Mexico. My aunt, she has like a chicken farm. So people used to go over there, like, get their fresh chickens from her. And she was like, she would just put the chicken like on a little chopping block while it was alive, cut the head out. But the chicken would still run without the head. I was like, why? Like, how is this? I don't know. But to them, it's like,
whatever. You know, shout out to them, and shout out to like indigenous people who like really just know how to be doing shit, and like also like honor the animals as they're doing it, because I straight up would just fucking die, like, period. I will be like, I'm gonna only eat these shrubs and berries and I will die. Like, I will be dead.
You'll survive. You'll survive. You'll find some wheat, maybe, you know, some grains, things like that, hopefully.
I think
that I could kill an animal if I had to. If it comes out to me or anybody else, I'm so sorry that I have to do it. But I do agree.
Probably kills like a fish.
Nah. Whatever I have to do, I do it. But I do agree with the honoring the animals. Like, I would definitely like probably, it would be, not that it would be like just really easy for me to do it, because it definitely wouldn't. That would be so difficult. But if I had to, absolutely. But I would definitely probably have a whole like seance beforehand. Like, I would have to like find some candles, because like I feel like I'd have to clean my spirit off for like even going after that and all those things, because like they say like you're eating the fear, you know, like when you kill an animal and then you're like eating their fear, and it's like, oh yeah, I would have to pray. But also, you would eat me. That's just how I think. Like, if it came down to it, a big ass bear, they would demolish me, and I would have to eat it first. I have to. So.
And you know what? I totally respect that, and I wish that I had more survival skills.
I don't know that I have the skills, but I just have the fight or flight. We gonna fight today.
I saw a video that said something. It was like a TikTok, and it was like something about like observing how all of this like pandemic shit has played out, and like how our government like really doesn't give a fuck about us, and like how out of luck we would be, and then like how everything that was happening or is still happening perhaps in Texas, where people are like literally without power, without things. And in the TikTok they were like, you know, could you survive in the event that you really were cut off from electricity, if food was not being delivered to your grocery store, you couldn't get to the grocery store? And I was like, bitch, I will be dead. Like, I don't even have a fucking like generator to like, I don't have nothing. I don't have canned goods. I don't have shit.
Yeah. I wouldn't know. And the thing, even if I were to go to like a fucking forest, I don't know what's edible or not.
Exactly.
It's poison. You're not supposed to eat it. How do I know that? I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
So
I know.
Wrong berry and fucking die. Like, I don't no. I would not.
So you gotta stick to the squirrels and the bear.
I'm like my uncle killing squirrels, I guess, because I don't know. Like, I
feel like we talked about this before and how I have been thinking about that a lot, especially since the pandemic. And so
like apocalypse, end of the world.
Yeah, and so I do have like a lot of canned foods, and I try to keep at least a lot of water on hand to just hope that at least I just am thinking that it's 2021, right? So like the way the world should work is that if something crazy happened, you know, maybe in I don't know, maybe a month, hopefully things could get the back on. So I would like to hope to at least have enough food and water and things in my house that I don't have to leave my house for that time.
For a month, 1 month?
Yeah, until shit gets the back on. But
you know,
I know I don't have enough. I know I don't have enough though.
Another thing is, do y'all know your neighbors?
I don't know.
You don't know your neighbors, B?
No, I don't know any of the people who live on my floor. I know like people who live in my building, like one person. That's it.
Lexy, you know your neighbors?
I live in an adult community, so I have a lot of older people here. So you don't really have a choice but to know them because
they gonna know you.
Exactly. So yes, I do know a lot of. I may not know them by name, but they have 1000% offered me shit and anything like that. So
yeah. I feel like that's another important piece to this, and this also is like I don't know, it's like such a white cultural practice to like not be friendly with your neighbors, I think. I feel like, and so I think about that a lot. Like, so say the power did go out for an extended period of time and like I really didn't have shit, or even if like an emergency happened or something, does a bitch know her neighbors to be able to be like, yo, Linda, this is what's going on, you know? And like in every apartment style complex I've ever lived in, I have never known my neighbors, which is the wildest shit ever because there is the closest proximity versus like a townhouse or a single family home, right? Like you are in an apartment where you're 20 feet from one.
Hear the fucking shit. We don't know their name. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like to me, that is like the number, or maybe not number one, but I don't know. I recently introduced myself to my neighbors because I was like, listen, bitch, I need to know who the fuck I'm trying to build, and also I feel like because I don't know what the fuck 30 really means, but I feel like that has also made me feel like emboldened or empowered to do other things. Like, cause now it's like, I'm a full adult. Like, I'm not like a 23-year-old knocking on my, and I'm also not going to be in my crib, like doing I don't know, like I am, but it would still be like more adult. I don't know. But anyway, I'm a full adult now. So I'm like, I'm going to introduce myself to my neighbors. So I've met like 4 of my neighbors and exchanged numbers with them. And it feels very grown up, but also helps me feel safer. And like, also, who you live around, and it's like, I don't know. I just feel like that's another piece of it is like, we don't even know who the fuck we're living around.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I was very shocked. So growing up, we did know our neighbors. Like when we were younger, we did know our neighbors, but where I grew up, it was more like a Latino and Black community. So like there, like more people would really just come up to you and like talk to you. Right. Then like where he lives now is like nothing but white people, and they don't really speak to each other at all. And I was also very shocked, like when I would go to Mexico, like, cause like I said, my dad lives in the country out there, like super like in the middle of fucking nowhere. And everyone there knows each other. Like everybody knows each other. They know the kids, like and it's so crazy how like people would just walk by and just say, oh, hey, how are you? Speak to you, everything. And like how like in the US, it's not normal to walk past someone and like even say hello. Right. And out there, say hello to them, and even if they are a stranger, that's like super rude. Like you can't just walk past somebody and not acknowledge them. Like you have to say hello. That's like a respect thing. And out here, like that's normal. We just walk past people, don't even say hello, and we live with like next to them. We don't even say to them. It's like really.
I know, it's almost like, especially in apartment or condo style buildings, it's almost like awkward and rude to even start conversation with people. And it's
like you don't know if you're like crossing a boundary. Like, do they want to be bothered?
Right.
It's happening. These are the closest people next to me. What if I fall down and like break my fucking leg? Like it's wild.
And I was gonna ask, so I'm thinking about in communities where people do know each other more often or more closely, is, I don't know if is there less, but like, I guess what I mean to say is like, I'm wondering if when you know your neighbors and there is a better sense of community, if like domestic violence is lower, because I don't think it is, just because I don't know that domestic violence is low anywhere, but I'm just thinking about, for me at least, especially like living in apartments and condos, like you can fucking hear everything that's happening. And like, I'm sure that there's been times like when I have been in relationships in the past where like my neighbors have heard some shit that they probably should have interjected but didn't, because it's like, oh, it's not my business. And then the opposite as well. I've heard stuff going on and have had to decide like, should I say something, should I not? And I know for a fact, at least for me, I can't speak for everybody else, I know for a fact if I knew my neighbors that I would feel more comfortable knocking on their door when I hear some shit and being like, what the fuck is going on? And I know in my last apartment, I leaned towards that even though I didn't know them, because I had men on either side of me, one of which I knew for a fact actually assaulted a sex worker, because I heard them arguing one time and I went out in the hallway and I was like, hey sis, what's going on? Are you okay? And I brought her in my apartment and she told me everything that happened and I like helped her leave. But like, I tried to be more involved than just not, because I feel like you're supposed to be, like you can't just listen and not do anything. But again, anyway, back to my question is, in the places where, or in Mexico, or in general thoughts, like where you know your community better and know your neighbors, are you more likely to intervene or not?
I think it's still that same like worry of like, is it my business or is it not my business? Because then you get involved and you can also put yourself in harm's way. Like, you know, once you get involved, you know, people are fucking nuts, and now you stepped in and yes, I don't know. You know, I be thinking selfishly a lot, I feel like, but sometimes you step in and then you might have saved that person in that moment, right? But then they come after you and now there's two people in danger as opposed to the one person in danger, or more, depending on who lives in your household, because who knows, now that person's coming over to you and killing everybody in your house because you intervened, or whatever the case is. Like, it's just it's just like give and take. Like, I think that if you feel it in the moment to get up and go save them, then do that, but just be cautious.
I would say that from my personal experience and things that I've heard happen and things that I know have happened, it really doesn't make a fucking difference, because it's like one of those things where like they don't want to be involved in that shit, so they really don't do anything. Like, people still don't do shit, and they know like this person is being abused or whatever like that. They won't do anything. So.
Yeah, that's fucked, and it ought to not be that way, because the whole point of like knowing your neighbors and having a sense of community within your neighborhood is that it wouldn't just be me knocking on their door. It would be like me and Linda and Carol and Dave, and we're all going to go over to Jessica and whatever's house and say, hey, we're your community, we're not okay with this. Jessica's going to come over here until you get your shit together, and if we hear it again, we're going to come back, or she's going to stay with us, right? Like, the whole real goal and point is to like function in that way, but everyone is like so individualistic that we don't end up functioning that way. Exactly. Or the onus ends up being on one person, which then does put you possibly in harm's way, because if it's just you, it can be problematic. But if it's 6 of you motherfuckers who live in proximity, that's going to look a little different. But it is shitty to know, and which is what my assumption is that even when there is like the sense of community and camaraderie, there's still not a sense of accountability within the community. And the point is, the community is accountable. If you hear your fucking neighbors arguing to the point where it's like toxic and you know something is going on, it quite literally is your responsibility and the surrounding people, not you alone, everyone, to be accountable to people who live in proximity to you, just like it is in your workspace or in whatever spaces. Like, yeah, the whole point is like all of that shit won't stop or end unless we all do feel responsible, because it is our responsibility.
Yeah, and it's just a very, I don't know, like, I know there was a situation out in Mexico where this girl, she was married to this guy, and they were a young couple or whatever, and they were like at some type of like little get together, and he wanted to leave, and she didn't want to leave yet, so he left, and she still stayed there or whatever like that, and she caught a ride with another guy back to the house, and so the husband was very upset, and he beat her over it. And she went to, you know, her family, and she went to her dad, and she told him, like, hey, like, this happened. So, like, everyone knew that it happened. And the dad's concern was not her safety, not, like, if she was going to be okay, but what are the people going to say if you stay here because you're no longer a virgin? Like, that was his concern. His concern was going to say. So that's why people really don't, like, also, like, out there, they don't really mess with that, because, like, to them, it's like, you got to stay with your man through anything. Like, out there, it's, like, super old school, like, through, like, they will literally have, like, 6 wives with, they won't leave, because they don't want to be seen as, like, you're no longer a virgin, you got to stay with the person who you lost your virginity to. So it's like, and that happened, like, 2 years ago. It's not even that long ago, like, but
patriarchy out
yeah.
so.
And so, like, if you're in a community with these people and you hear the father say this, why would you, like, if your own dad doesn't care, it's like,
yeah.
Why
and that's shit too, because it should be the opposite. It ought to be the opposite. It ought to be, if someone's like, well, her dad doesn't care, I need to care. We collectively need to care, type of shit. But, and it really does all center back to what is sometimes white, but maybe not always, but is always patriarchal. It's always about men, men's domination and fucking violence and subjugation of others, and instilling fear and societal fucking expectations and shit. And actually, this makes me think of, so obviously everybody knows that I'm a sex worker and a whore and I suck for money and whatever. And obviously everyone knows that my mom also knows this. And, like, I talk to my mom about it all the time. She'd be asking me who I be sucking, and she'd be keeping a note and be like, oh, I'm watching them play a game. Like, very open in all regards, right? But, like, I don't talk to my dad about that. And I don't intentionally not talk about it. So, like, I've said to him, like, oh, something sex workers, or like, oh, I'm a sex worker and this is impacting me. So I've said it, like, in passing, or like in kind of like disguised or coded language, but I haven't ever, like, I would never feel comfortable just being like, I was sucking dick on a yacht the way I would to anybody else or my mom. And I don't even know that I would feel comfortable just, like, plainly saying, like, I was a fucking prostitute, like, you know. And I have been reflecting on this and even wrote about it a little bit, because that fucking sucks. That sucks. And that is not in line with, like, who I am at all. Like, I am, like, authentic and, like, confident and proud of who I am. And so for me to have this, like, experience where, because really what was the catalyst for this whole thing is I created, like, a press kit for myself, which is basically an outline of my entire brand and all the things I do. And I've been sending it out to people so that they can, like, give me money or help me out with projects. And I want to send it to my dad so that he can send it to people in his network. But that means that he's going to see all the things I do. And in the press kit, like, the first picture of me is me holding a big ass fucking dildo. Like, I'm like, And I'm like, and he's like, so we'll send it to me. And I'm like, no, I can't send this to you. And, like, that fucking sucks. And I just have been really, the point is, I've been thinking about how much fathers, and of course men as an extension, but fathers specifically fucking suck. And how the impacts of even the concept of fathers, like, prohibits your, like, safety and authenticity and the way you show up in spaces, and, like, a number of things. And even if your dad, like, isn't one of those dads, you're still being impacted in some way by, like, the concept of fathers. And, like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think, and, you know, you say fathers, but I mean, it's really just, like, men, like, so periodly just, like, men, because I had a conversation with a man very, very close to me recently, and it was about, you know, my life path or whatever. And that narrative of, like, I mean, I love you, like, you are amazing, but, like, I wish you didn't do that. Like, I wish you were making your money another way, or, you know, you could be doing anything else but this. I mean, we're cool. You're so cool. Like, I'm so cool with sex workers. Like, sex workers are so cool, but I really, like, I just would respect them differently. And I'm like, do you not understand how you are being disrespectful by saying what, like, it doesn't even calculate to them how am I so cool and we're cool, but
you don't respect the work that I do. And it's
and that's just,
then it's like, then you don't really respect me as a person. If you don't respect my work, then you don't respect me at all.
But let me ask you this. When you were having that conversation with him, were you scared? Were you feeling anxious? Were you feeling like you couldn't show up as yourself? Were you feeling like—
I was shaking. Like, literally the entire time I was talking, I was shaking. I was like on the verge of tears, you know, just because it's like, that hurts, you know, especially for somebody so close to me. And then for me to feel like, sometimes I be feeling like, I don't know if I've said this to y'all before. I said this to my friends before. Like, I feel like a mixed child, and like I feel like I'm just in this in between space of civilian women and sex worker women, and I would like to be a bridge in between that some kind of way. You know, I would like for, you know, my friends and family to see that, you know, like, you know me, you knew me before I was anything else. We're cool. We've been who we are. Nothing has changed except my job title. Like, literally nothing else has changed except my job title. So like, you like, don't you see? Like, I'm a regular ass person and also a sex worker. And it's like, don't you see? And they can't, you know, and that shit hurts. Like, that hurts a lot. It's hard to even want to continue to, you know, that, and it's crazy because like, that's the one thing that's the problem, you know, like everything else is cool, but that's like the one thing, and it sucks.
Yeah, and that anxiety and like verge of tears, like that is specifically what I'm talking about, because I feel like there are certain people, men, that we're okay with just being like, I do this, what the you gonna do about it? And then there's like other men specifically who it's like that exact feeling, like that terrifying, voices cracking, don't know how to say this, can't stay firm in my boundaries, and like that sucks. Like that fucking sucks, and it's not fair. And it's especially like you said, it's like in your instance, it's like just the one fucking thing. Everything else is like boom, and it's like that just fucking sucks so much. And I guess for me at least, it's like a new feeling because I don't care. I don't care about saying it to a professional business person. I've talked to lawyers and been like, I suck dick for money and I got gonorrhea. I don't give a fuck. I'm not embarrassed. I don't care. It's literally just my dad. Like, it was just this one like acute situation, and I had never really experienced that before. So I have like no tolerance either, which I feel like for other folks perhaps who have had dad in the home, or who have had uncles that are weird, or have more male friends who are shit like that, like it sucks, and you also like build a muscle for it in a way. It's like, I know all these people who don't support me, so I kind of have a better, I don't know, something. I don't have the fucking muscle for it. I don't have it. I don't fucking know. So I've been like thinking about what the fuck all of that means for me, and like who he is, and ultimately that it's his shit. Just like your friend, it's their baggage, it's their fears, it's their anxieties, it's their judgment, it's their desire for domination, even if it's indirect. It's all of their shit that is then put onto me, and I'm expected to like contort or do something different or feel ashamed or carry the same fears and anxiety. And fuck that. I'm not doing that. Like, no.
Right.
It's not mine.
And that's literally how our conversation ended, because it was just like, I was like, you know what? I just need to be myself. Like, I really just have to be myself. And when they say like, you cannot care about what anybody else thinks, is like, it's really like, you cannot, because you will never be able to be authentic. Like, you will never be able to fully be yourself if you're completely, you know, if you're always worrying about what the other people are thinking about you. And it sucks sometimes, you know, the people that you may have to distance yourself from in that light, because that's to the point where it is, it's like, I'm feeling like I have to distance myself, because how can I be myself if I can't? So like, if I can't, or if I know I'm going to be judged for it, if I'm going to have that anxiety every time we talk about what the fuck I do for work, or, you know, any of that, like, how can I don't know. But it's hard, and I have not cut anybody off yet, and I don't know exactly how to do it, because like I said too, it's just that literally just that one piece. And so it's, I don't know.
That's why I speak to my dad once a week. 15 minutes, 20 minutes once a week, and we're good. Because I could never tell him I am a sex worker. I could never tell him what I do for money. I feel like he kind of knows, because people have found my porn, they posted it on Facebook, all this stuff. So everyone else in my family knows. How is he randomly the only person not gonna know? I know he knows. I've never sat down and said, hey, this is what I do. But like, I remember when I first got like this apartment, like he was so mad. You would think like he would be happy, like, you know, this is my real first place by myself. I'm like financially stable. I can take like 100% take care of myself. And the whole time he's like, I wish you would do something else though. I wish you would have just gotten a different type of job. I wish you would have finished school. And I'm like, well, I wish I didn't get raped 2 times and then I would have still been in school. But I got raped and I got fucking traumatized and I dropped out. Like, I can't control that. And I'm not going back to school. Why would I go back to school? I'm $50,000 in debt. Don't have nothing to show for it besides 2 fucking rapes under my belt. I'm not going back to that shit. And I like, to him, it was like, it's just like, it kind of like an embarrassment. And the only reason why me and my dad have a relationship is because I don't speak to him. That is the only reason. Like, I remember when I was 13 years old and I was sneaking this boyfriend that I had into the house, and some shit happened where like his Facebook got hacked, and like the police, like this other girl hacked his Facebook page and like posted his nudes. But since we were like 14, that was considered like child pornography or whatever. He thought I was the one who did it. I didn't do it, but the police still came to my house to ask what was going on or what happened. And like the whole thing came out that he was like sneaking into my house and he was my boyfriend. My dad had no idea. And like in front of the police, I'm 14 years old. In front of the police, my dad was like, "You're a fucking prostitute." In front of the police. And I'm sitting there like, my own father. So it's like the only reason I would never speak to my dad about how I make money. I would rather eat dirt than fucking ever like for money, asking for help, explain myself to him. No, like I could never do that with him. I love him, but I could never have that type of relationship ever. Like,
yeah, that fucking sucks, and that is like painful as fuck, and also shit, because again, with it there being their shit, that impacts your ability to have a closer relationship to him. And that sucks, because of course we want to be close to our parents and family and shit like that. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it prohibits it. Because so this is another piece of it is like, yeah, we want to be authentic and like everything that everybody says, and I feel that way most of the time. Then there's also this piece of like safety, and just like safety, yeah, you know, because like knowing like you have evidence that your dad will respond poorly, and that affects your safety, even if it's just emotional safety. And like, I think similarly for me, I have the exact same experience. The first time that I ever had sex, I like wrote it in a note to my friend and then took the note home. My mom found it. And at this time, like my dad was never around, like would go like years without talking to him. No birthdays, no nothing. And my mom found the note, and she, being a stupid fucking dumb bitch who perpetuates patriarchy, because women perpetuate patriarchy, thought to call my fucking dad. So called my fucking dad, and this nigga was on the next fucking flight to the house. That's the quickest he's ever shown up for me, because I got fucked. And he literally sat in my fucking kitchen and called me a slut. He said, you are the town slut. How could you do this? You're the fucking town slut. So similarly, there's evidence that it will go poorly if I am honest with you, which prohibits our relationship from having any kind of emotional depth, because I'm fucking terrified, even if it just means I'm emotionally impacted by your behavior, right? Because it's not like in that moment we got the shit beat out of us or they hit us or whatever, but words fucking hurt and they stick and they fuck you up. Like that town slut shit, that fucking still sticks with me as a 30-year-old adult.
You remember it.
Yeah, an adult woman. I'm still traumatized from that shit. And like, I had a good cry the other day thinking about the fact that I like so specifically have like reclaimed the word slut, which I didn't even like put 2 and 2 together. But I was like, the reason that I fucking obviously did that is because that shit was used against me in such a horribly, deeply, negatively hurtful fucking way. Like, this is the first time I fucked and you're calling me the fucking town slut. you're fucking sneaking people in, opportunity to just like have a conversation about like boundaries and like right, wrong, whatever. And it's like, oh, you fucking process.
It's like,
I need all my scammer niggas, bring that cash.